Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And you're gonna have to give me a second here to get my chat set up there. There we go. All right. And today I'm going to talk about my views on an apocalypse, a reset situation, because it's come to my attention, I guess. I've realized that sometimes my wording, I can be a bit confusing to people, right? Some people might think that I'm a proponent of just total chaos and anarchy and all this crap, and that's not what I'm about. I'm not trying to promote anarchy or any of that bullshit. I don't want people running around in the streets shooting at each other and stuff. That's not what I'm hoping for. Jeff 7, what's up, dude? What I'm thinking about when I think about the apocalypse is dismantling of the control state, right? Every institution that controls us, that robs us, manipulates us, propagandizes us, brainwashes us, keeps us sick and in debt, right? With their interest rates and 50-year mortgages and shit, right? Dismantling of all that, and then a restart, start it over, start it again. Maybe we can do it better next time, because at this day and age, I just cannot believe now that it can be fixed, right? It's not going to be fixed. It's near impossible to fix it the way it is. And you say fixed like I say fixed like it's broken or something, right? But it's a well-oiled, well-running machine. Picture this: a cow takes a shit out in a field. Now, from the gopher's standpoint, that's a horrible situation. This needs to be fixed. Something needs to be done. A cow's shitting on my head. This is a bad situation. Okay, the gopher might want an apocalypse, want a reset, rip the fences down, get the cow out of here, whatever, anything to change this situation. All right. But from the farmer's standpoint, sitting up there on his porch, everything's working fine. That's exactly the way he wanted it. The fences are good, keeping everything inside where it's supposed to be. Cows eating the food, shitting in the field like it's supposed to. It's not running down the street haywire, so everything's working great. It's a well-oiled machine. And that, I think, is the difference that a lot of people get confused, right? Is that like the system's broken. The system's not broken. It's only dependent on where you're at on the hierarchy. Are you the gopher? Well, the system seems like it's broken because it sucks so bad. But if you're the farmer, then the system runs perfectly fine. It's well-oiled machine. So, and for the gopher to think that he's going to change some shit is just it's a exercise in futility, right? Raziel, what's up? Who else we got here? Laic, just another guy in the woods. Bucky, what's up? And that goes to something that Laic said, that I was gonna do a whole video about, but I haven't gotten to it yet. But Laic mentioned, the rebuilding. Everybody focuses on the apocalypse. That's the main focus, the main topic of discussion: the apocalypse, the tearing down, and all this stuff. But it's the rebuilding afterward that we're actually talking about. Okay, we see all this stuff that is wrong. How the founding fathers of the United States almost got it right. They almost got it right. They were this close. But there was a few things that should have been in the Constitution that are just obvious to a lot of, actual thinking people now, that they had no concept could even happen, 200 years in the future. They had no idea we were going to have cell phones and all this shit. They had no clue. So they did not know what the lack of term limits would do to our nation and our government, so and they could have easily implemented them in the beginning. Oliver Rust, what's up? Shannon, hey Shannon, good morning. Yeah, so and I'm not in favor of the general population, run around shooting at each other and stuff. No, I want to dismantle the structure, right? The corruption, the thievery, the debt slavery, all the bullshit, the lies, the hypocrisy, the media, all of the institutions. That's not like I want to dismantle them personally, that I, what I'm saying. But if they got dismantled, I wouldn't be too upset about it, Go out like Lake was talking about and rebuild and try to do better this time. And that, I think, is the point. I'm not looking for complete and total anarchy. I'm looking for complete and total freedom, for people to build communities based on freedom and harmony, and supporting each other and stuff, not robbing from each other, not electing these rulers that just loot their countrymen and tell them lies and brainwash and all this bullshit, that are just beholden to these corporations for their livelihood. And I all of that shit, it's just so corrupt and disgusting that it needs, they just need to rip the fences down. And it's gotten too bad for the gopher, you know what I mean? There's nothing but cow shit now. There are too many cows, too much shit, and it's time, time for the asteroid or something to come and destroy the fences and let the cows run free and let the gophers have a chance to have do something better. AF, what's up? Oh, all the snobs are going to be there. All right. Yeah. Vintage rock t-shirt. Tripwire showed up. Oh, there he is. Tripwire, what's up, Trip? But yeah, I don't want complete and total anarchy. You know what I mean? Of course, some of that would happen in the beginning, directly after the apocalypse. But that's not the point in everything. The point is to dismantle the corporate and the institutional structure, and then rebuild afterward. And as I say again, I'm not trying to do any of that shit. I'm just saying if some act of God offered me that, you know what I mean, on a silver platter, I just wouldn't be upset about it. So I just think some people get confused sometimes about what I'm saying here. That I just want a world of anarchy and disorder and all this shit. No, I want a world of order and civilized society. Without why must corruption and theft and all this other sickening shit come along with civilized society? Why are those two things married together? Why can't we have civilized society without all the the debt slavery, the corruption, the poisoning in our food, the regulations and laws against raw milk, and all this other bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Why is the FBI kicking in Amish people's doors because they're selling raw milk? Why are these small time farmers being harassed and shit, by the government? Why is all this shit, why must it come with a civilized society? Why can't we have a society without all of the corruption, the theft, the bullshit? Why can't we have a society with justice, actual justice, not justice for the people who can afford it, but justice for everyone? Why can't we have a society where, everyone can be healthy, everyone can be happy, the pursuit of happiness, or at least the ability to pursue happiness, So that I know that it is possible. Will it ever happen? I don't know. I just know it's beyond repair now. We're past that tipping point where it's going to get fixed with some legislation. That's not going to happen here in America anyway, not in the United States. Hey, Vintage, what's up? Oh, all right. Thank you, Trip. Yeah, what wasn't much of an argument, but yeah, that just and like I said, it was partially my fault too because I get up here and I just say shit off the handle and without really going into detail. So it's probably easy for people to get confused about what I'm actually saying because I'm talking to y'all who I've been talking to for months and months, and you already know where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it needs to be updated. I need to go into a little detail about it. Crabman, what's up? Glad to see you here. Yeah, people like to steal shit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that, just like the apocalypse, Raziel, the definition of the word apocalypse is an unveiling, right? To reveal. So, I've been called out on that a bunch of times, as you can imagine, because I say the word apocalypse all the time, but I use it in the pop culture way. Um, so same thing with anarchy, right? We think of anarchy and we don't think of it as the way it's actually defined in the dictionary. And that's part of the problem if you pay attention to now I'm gonna mind blank on his name, George Orwell, the manipulation of language. We get into that habit of using words outside of their meaning, and then we change the meaning of the word, and then there's a lot of confusion. And I've told people before, look up the word racism. It's not, it doesn't mean what you think it means, unless you know the dictionary definition, but we use it today in a way that's got nothing to do with racism. The actual word, the meaning of the word. The way it's used today has nothing to do with it. Actual racism has nothing to do with other races, especially one particular race. That's prejudice. Racism is about your own race, the race you are. So it's got nothing to do with that. So, but we use that word and we call people racists, and that as a society, I don't call anybody a damn racist, because there aren't any racists anymore. I mean, the last racists that I know of were maybe the Nazis, neo-Nazis up in Portland, Oregon back in the 80s. Since then, I've never heard of a group of actual racists, except maybe, some people over there in the Middle East or something. I'm sure they're all around the world somewhere, but not in America. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Shannon. All right. I thought because I know the FBI will kick in doors and shit. So it must be like weed. Weed is technically illegal on the federal level, but on the state level, I guess they can have their own laws. It's just 100% illegal here in Florida. Oh yeah, crap, man, absolutely. Yeah, it's just not pasteurized and all that shit. I used to drink raw milk, when I was a kid, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's been demonized because they didn't want people. They wanted people buying the milk from the big corporations. They didn't want people, small dairy farmers to be able to sell milk to each other, because that cost the big corporations money, and that is the only reason. Not because of health. Raw milk is probably more healthy for you, I would guess, because it hasn't been, all the nutrients cooked out of it and shit like the milk you get at the grocery store. Well, thank you, AF. Yeah, well, most of y'all have heard my thing before, but I actually had somebody accuse me of being a proponent of just complete anarchy, right? Chaos and shit. Not the anarchy that Raziel was talking about, but the popular definition of anarchy. Just because they misunderstood what I was saying, because I talk about the apocalypse, but I talk about it in a light-hearted manner, kind of jokingly, and y'all get that. But I realized that people just watching one of my videos out of context might misinterpret what the hell I'm saying here. So I figured I would just go into a little detail to start the conversation here today. At the beginning of this video, just go into a little detail and explain to people who may not, watch my videos on a regular basis, that I'm not proposing or supporting any kind of idea of complete chaos, just civil and tribal warfare throughout the country. I don't want that shit. Just like nobody else wants it. I don't want it either. I just want to be free, and I want all of y'all to be free. Yeah, Louis Pasteur. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the best tasting milk. I can verify that as well. All right. Oh yeah. It will be. You're right, Tripwire. It will be anarchy and chaos for a while. Yeah. Yep, and then the start of rational life will begin. Exactly. Yeah, I understand that there will be a period of chaos, and that's unavoidable. But any kind of major structural change will be. You know, it was chaos during the Revolutionary War, complete chaos during the Civil War, chaos. So yeah, any kind of structural reset will be chaos. Oh, that's cool. See, some things everybody wants to shit on New York and California and stuff, and for good reason a lot of times. Don't get me wrong, but that kind of stuff, in my opinion, why can't all states get together? All governors need to get together and say, "Hey, let's do some common sense here, and look out for our people." Oh yeah, I bet. Crabman, ice cream made from raw milk is awesome. Yeah, I bet. Oh, all right. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I bet it is, Raziel. Oh, all right. Yeah, here in Florida, they have to, if you go to like a farmer's market or something, they have to label it for animal consumption only. I mean, the people that know, they know why they're buying it, but it's just a regulation, a law here in Florida that it's completely illegal. And if they get caught selling it, for human consumption, they get fined and probably thrown in jail. Who was that? Was his invisible? There he is. His invisibleness. What's up, dude? Oh, goat cheese. I don't know if I've ever had goat cheese, dude. I don't know. Wheel Gauge. What's up, dude? Yeah. Yeah. No. Dog Karma. Hey. Yeah. How we know God loves us. You're right about that, Crab, man. Oh, all right. Yeah, Bluebell. Yeah, that's the one. Joe P, what's up, Joe? Glad to see you here, man. Oh, Raziel, shit, you're in the know, dude. Fish antibiotics, yeah. Yep, I've been known to buy some fish antibiotics in case I get fish. In case I get some fish in the future. So, because that stuff's really good for fish. Yeah, yeah, dude. So, you can't if you think about having an aquarium one day, you need to stock up on your fish antibiotics, huh? Huh, Raziel? That shit works, dude. Oh, okay. You've got a Biden in Australia now. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Vintage. Anything valuable becomes a monetary asset. A grift works when the government doesn't push back. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that because the cream is still in there. I used to ladle the cream off the top, which you probably heard me say before, Shannon, but I used to ladle the cream off the top and put that in my cereal. It's so rich. You like goat cheese too, Oliver? I don't know if I've ever had it. Yeah, Vintage, thank you for showing up, buddy. Glad to see you here, man. Glad you could make it this morning or this afternoon, I guess, in your neck of the woods, or this evening, I guess. I'm not sure what the hell time it is in Australia. Australia is the hardest one to keep up with for me for some reason, what time it is. It's like 16 hours, I think, ahead. Something like that. But yeah, see, those are the kind of regulations that are completely bullshit. All right? They're bullshit. That it's a big corporations lobby our government to change laws, to pass laws and regulations that take away our freedoms. They make it illegal for me to milk my cow and share some with Raziel. Here you go, Raziel. Here's a gallon of milk, dude. I know you're hungry, you're doing bad or whatever. Here's a gallon of milk, Raz. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that. Not legally, because our government is they're corrupt. They're just from the top down all the way down. They're scumbags. Now, our governor here in Florida has proposed. Zombie, what's up, dude? Glad you can make it. Has proposed here in Florida that they do away with real estate tax, right? Property taxes, because here in the United States, I don't know how it is in other countries, but we get our property gets taxed. So even after you pay off your land and you own it, you still have to rent it from the government. Now, our governor said we should just do away with those taxes. Now, down each state is broken up into counties, smaller counties in the United States, or parishes. As far as one state goes, they're parishes, but they're called counties. And all the way down to the county level, which is local government, they're saying no, we're not going to do that. We don't want to do that. That's bullshit, and they're fighting. Our local government is fighting the state government because the state government wants to do away with property taxes and just let people own their property. So they're probably not going to do it, but the governor's fighting them, trying to get it done, but it's probably not going to happen. So this is how corrupt it is, from the president of the United States all the way down to local county level shit. They do not want to help you. They do not want to see us prosper. They do not want to see us own our property, own our land, own our car, own our books. They don't want us to own anything. It's disgusting corruption through and through. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tripwire. We need, in my opinion, I'm with Trip here. Maybe me and Trip are in the minority, but I'm for a reset. Let's restart it. Let's start over again. Let's build something again. We can take the United States Constitution and add to it and try to fix it. And if that doesn't work, maybe it should be reset again, and then the future generation do the same thing. But from what I see, there's not going to be any fixing it. The politicians are too corrupt. They're bought and paid for. We can't. It's almost impossible to elect someone. I mean, once in a while, at a local level, you probably be able to elect someone because, someone that's earnestly trying to help their countrymen. But across the board, it's the big companies who are financing the scumbags. And they're buying all kinds of commercials for them, and they're plastering them all over the place. So that's the one And when you go to vote, you're going to vote for the one that you know. Yeah, antibiotics, not in the United States anyway. They're not for sale. Zombie, yeah. Haagen-Dazs, his invisibleness. I'm a Bluebell guy myself. I think it's Bluebell. Yeah, Bluebell. Blue Bunny's the one I don't like. Oh yeah, I bet, Crab Man. Half and half instead of milk. Yeah. I always wondered this. Half and half is supposed to be half cream and half milk, right? Well, why doesn't it separate? What do they put in there to make it mix? Some kind of emollient or something? Some kind of chemical to get it to... Because you take real raw milk and you mix you up some half and half and mix the cream with the milk and you set it in your fridge, that shit's going to separate. I've seen it myself. So why doesn't it separate when you buy half and half from the grocery store like it would if you had half and half, right out of the cow? That's what confuses me. What the hell? There's something something in that shit that, unless and I could be completely wrong. I'm honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just some kind of thing with the milk that I'm not understanding. How would roads be maintained, Shannon, without property taxes? But there are all kinds of different ways. All right. Number one, they could use the money from the toll booths the toll booths that were supposed to be temporary and that were only supposed to be dismantled 20 years ago. They could use that money and actually maintain our roads. That's just they take in hundreds of millions of dollars a year in toll booths. They could quit giving money to these special contractors and overpaying them by hundreds of millions of dollars for all this bullshit. That's the second one. The third one is they could raise sales taxes a little bit, just another penny, make it 8 cents instead of 7 cents. It's 7 cents here in Florida. They could make it 8 cents. Any tax that is voluntary, that I can choose, that's fine with me. All right? If Xboxes they tax the shit out of Xboxes and, that's bad and I'm going to cry about it, but I just won't buy an Xbox. I'm still free. But if you're going to kick me off my land because I don't pay taxes, okay, now you're wrong. You're just dead wrong. Now you're just stealing because I don't have a choice. You have to give people a choice. They can come up with any tax they want that is a choice. All right? Because everyone needs a place to live. Double the taxes on second and third homes. Double them. Right? Because the second and third home is a choice. I don't have to buy another house. I need one house. I must have a place to live. But I don't need several more. So tax those. But your primary residence should not be taxed at all. You should not be taxed for living. You should not be taxed for working. These mandatory taxes are theft. Just plain up, straight out theft. Taxes you should have a choice whether to buy something and pay the tax or not, and don't pay the tax, but it's up to you. You could tax second and third homes $1 million a year. Well, okay, I just won't buy a second home. I just won't do it. I'll just live in my house. I'll invest that money in remodeling the house I have. And if I want to go vacation somewhere, I'll get an Airbnb. I won't pay that tax because I have the choice not to. So no matter how ridiculous they get with the other taxes, as long as you're free to choose. Cereal cream? Oh, okay. I've never heard that before, Shannon. Yeah, I can't say it, Crab Man. They're for fish. In case you get fish one day. Yeah. Ask on Discord or something. Or if you really want to know, email me. But yeah, no. I'm not saying it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. All right. What we got here? Let me get down here. Let me catch up with the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I got sidetracked. Planet Xer, what's up? Glad to see you here. They milked a bull for it. I hope to God not. Now, you probably hear the chickens outside AF. I don't have a, $100,000 sound booth in here. Yeah, vintage. And thank you to everyone, all the members of Gen X Thinks. I really appreciate y'all. Seriously. Yeah, we've had toll roads here built in the 90s that were supposed to be 10 years old. They were supposed to be put up for 10 years and they're still there, AF. They are still there, just robbing us. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people could maintain the roads themselves. The private businesses could. But then they say, here's another thing that I don't understand about all that shit. They say that the property taxes and stuff go for roads and schools, right, to maintain the schools and stuff. But if the schools need our property taxes, why do they also need the federal government money? I thought that's what the federal government was giving them money for, to maintain schools and shit. Why are they getting hundreds of billions of dollars from the federal government, but they also need to tax me? So I'm taxed. I'm paying for these schools and shit twice. Schools that are horrible, right? It's just ridiculous what our education system has become. But I'm paying for this shit twice. They take it out of my check. The federal government takes it out of my check, and then the local government taxes me. It takes our property taxes and for these schools and shit. That's the big thing they always say, is that these, it's for the schools and for the roads. Well, what the hell? What are you doing with all these sales taxes and federal income taxes and all this other shit? We're just taxed to death. I'll tell you what's happening. Probably 60%, maybe more, of all those tax dollars are just wasted, pissed away to pad the pockets of politicians, to pay off people for bribes and blackmail and cocaine and hookers and all this shit. All right? If we eliminated all that waste, which we won't, not without an asteroid or something, you know what I mean? But we wouldn't have to tax property. We wouldn't have to tax all this shit if we just eliminated how much of our taxes were just pissed away on bullshit. Yeah, yeah, you're probably right there. So that I hadn't thought about that. That would probably be insane for rent prices. But rent prices have doubled, literally doubled over the last 5 years anyway. So, and they didn't do that. They just doubled them because they wanted to double them. The rent prices can only go so high before people can't rent anymore. They'll have to start moving in together, and then all of those rental properties will be vacant. Half of the rental properties will be vacant because people just can't afford them. So then they will have to lower the prices to get people to come. That's just the way it is. They can only raise them so high before they've got to come down because people can't afford them. So what you say is true, though. Yeah, it would affect rent prices, but they can only affect them so much, and there's other shit affecting rent prices already. Rent has literally doubled over the last 5 years. Over the last 5 years. Not 20, not 30, 5. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right. It would affect rent prices, and I hadn't thought about that. So that maybe that needs to be taken into consideration. But you don't necessarily have to double. I said double, but you don't have to double them. Just add a few more thousand per year onto the other properties, and then over the course of a year, it'd be 200 a month or something like that, or 100 a month. Add $100 per month extra onto all the secondary properties. Yeah. Think about how much nonsense that shit. It's crazy, crab man. Yeah. So your high school football team was sponsored by Pepsi and Hammer Strength. So yeah, so what if we have corporations sponsoring these schools, then what the hell are they doing with the federal money they're getting? Well, that's the problem, Trip. You ask the American people, and half of them, at least, are brainwashed, and they have no idea what the hell they won't give it any thought, and won't can't give you a decent answer because they don't know what they think about it. They can only repeat what somebody else has told them they think about it. Yeah, Oliver. Yeah, the government taxes the already taxed money. Then it gets taxed again when you buy something. So it's not only double dipped; it's dipped like 4 or 5 times by the time it gets to its end. Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. Utterly ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, 3/4 of property taxes go to schools, and all our federal, not all, but the federal government gives them hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So where is all this money going? And I just read a thing that the school commissioner, board commissioner, or whatever in Chicago, they did a thing, and only like 30% of students in Chicago could do math at their grade level. They're all way behind in the basic reading, writing, arithmetic, and this lady had just been promoted from her smaller area to state, so now she's in charge of the whole state, right, education system. And she was saying that, she was quoted as saying that I forget the exact wordage, but something to the effect of, making kids get good grades is racist. So, in my opinion, they shouldn't get a dime. They shouldn't be getting a dime. I would rather the government give that money to individuals, and small communities take turns teaching the kids. You know what I mean? All the kids in the neighborhood could come to my house one day, and I'll give classes. All the neighborhoods can go to Joe's, and then Janice's, and then Stacy's, and all this. Do something like that. And each person could share in that money at something like that at a community level, instead of giving our money to these bureaucrats who are teaching that learning is racist. It's just so ridiculous. Learning, reading, math, and science is racist now. And these people doing this shit are getting promoted. They're not getting kicked out. They're not getting fired. They're not getting laughed at. They're getting promoted. They're getting paid more money. They're buying bigger houses. It's insane. Yeah. Well, some, not all taxes. I sort of agree with what you say there, Zombie, that taxes aren't the problem. Some taxes aren't. Like I said before, I'm for voluntary taxes, not for involuntary taxes. That's just theft. If I did that to you, that would be theft. If I just went into your account and took a chunk of your money every week, I wouldn't be able to do that very long because I'd be in prison. But these people are rulers. They're allowed to do that because of the Federal Reserve and all that. That's just abhorrent to me, to have anyone go in and just steal your money, and just take what you've worked for. And even if they're dispersing it for all the right reasons, so let's just say that they found out how to be just straight up on the straight and narrow, not waste a dime of your money, just support the things that need to be supported. It's still wrong to take it without your consent. If it's needed so badly, then people should give it. If they can't afford to give it, then they shouldn't give it. If they don't want to give it, they shouldn't give it. It's their money. So, no, no. All taxes should be voluntary, in my personal opinion. Y'all probably, a lot of y'all probably feel like I'm wrong, but I just can't get past that. I can't get past that. It's robbery. It's theft. Taking something that doesn't belong to you is theft. But if a politician does it, it's okay. There aren't different rules for them than there are for us. They're the same rules. Laic's out of here? All right, Laic. See you later, buddy. Thank you for dropping by. Yeah, Zombie, exactly. Too busy teaching pronouns and Orange Man bad. Yeah. Yeah, the ability to spell, trying to teach kids to spell is racist now, according to this woman, and a lot of people like her. It's just not her. It's a whole lot of them. Yeah, they scream racism but can't spell it and don't know the definition of the word. They have no idea what that word means. They just spout it. Yeah, let's dress up like tacos and protest AF's offensiveness. Or her being offended. No, that's good, Raziel, yeah. Hell yeah, fire them some bitches. That's what we should be doing. They should be. Trip, what would happen if the government had to list their expenses? List everything. Now, in this age of the internet, they should be. There should be a Wikipedia that lists every single dime that goes into and leaves the government at every level. But they have this thing about national security now, right? It's top secret and all this shit. So a lot of this stuff is hush hush, right? It's too secret. It's for national security. Bullshit. I'll just call bullshit on that. Nobody's invading America. All this shit. If you want to go screw with other countries, then do it out in the open. You don't need all this black ops and all this bullshit. We could literally roll into any other country on the planet and just do whatever we wanted. Some countries would give up a hell of a fight, but I'm just saying, from a military perspective, what, Venezuela, Venezuela is like at odds with us right now. Okay. You know how long it would take if the United States said, okay, Venezuela, you're the 51st state now, and we're going to do it through military conquest. I'm not supporting that idea or anything. I'm just saying, how long would it take for the United States through the military to make Venezuela the 51st state? 3 seconds? Would it take a whole evening? It wouldn't take long. So yeah, all this bullshit. My point is, they use that whole government security and national security and national all this stuff to hide a bunch of shady wastage of our money. They're just pissing our money away with bribes and all this other shit, paying off whoever with our tax money, and they get to file it under top secret, right? And national security and stuff, and it's all bullshit. Yeah, AF bookkeeping. And it should be, there should be a Spendopedia where, people can just go see what every dime that the government is spending money on. Yeah, Shannon, you're right. Yeah, people have the right to shake their fist, but the right ends when it hits someone's face. Yeah, then the people have the right to defend themselves. Well, our country does, Trip. Everything gets hidden under national security. Oh, we're spying on American citizens for national security. That's what Snowden let everybody know, because they were keeping that under wraps because of national. They do a lot of shady shit to us without our knowledge under national security. They spend just probably trillions of our dollars under the guise of national security, right? And we're all supposed to believe that it's all top secret and spies and, Russia's trying to infiltrate and China's trying to infiltrate and all this shit, when nobody stepped foot on American soil in, I don't know how many 100 years now, 200 years or something now. So it's just all bullshit at this point, when they could just leave everyone else alone, spend our money wisely, and just for 1 decade, I would like to see them do that. Pull all our troops back, just put them on our own border, spend our money wisely, and see what happens. If it's a failure, go back to the theft and the fraud. We can always go back to the bullshit, but they won't do it. They just won't. They won't stop stealing from us. They won't stop their corruption. They won't stop their abuse. The justice system is corrupt and pathetic. Every single aspect of our society is corrupt in that way. Well, why not the budget, Braziel? Why not the budget? I just don't understand why not. Why they can't tell us how much they're spending on missile defense or whatever they're spending. Who cares? Do you think if they came out right now and said, okay, everybody, we spent $300 billion last year on missile defense, you think China's just going to roll in and take us over? You know what I mean? Is that the fear that we're just going to get No, most likely, if countries actually knew how much money we were spending on our technology and shit, they would be more afraid. They wouldn't mess with us. I would rather them spend more money on that shit than they're spending now. Spend more, but let us know. Let us know the truth. Spend it on defense, not out there, manipulating other governments, spreading democracy, overthrowing other leaders and shit. Leave those people alone. What's that got to do with me? I can't have raw milk, but you can go into another country and overthrow their leader, their elected leader, the leader that their people chose. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But we're spending billions upon billions of dollars overthrowing legally and democratically elected leaders around the world. We've been doing it for decades. Oh, Crabman, yeah. What is it? Oh, yeah, my cheese shirt. Hanker for a hunk of cheese. Can y'all see it? Yeah. Yeah, you would be. Yeah, we'd all be arrested if we did just anywhere near the amount of theft and racketeering and all the bullshit they do that our government does every day, Trip. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's half the deterrent is how much we spend, if that's what you're talking about, Razio. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great quote, Shannon. Every blade of grass. I think it was it a Chinese or a Japanese general said that you could never invade America because there'd be a gun behind every blade of grass, or every blade of grass would have a gun behind it. And that's exactly right. Metal Gear, what's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, they make it hard to mow the lawn, but it's the price we pay for freedom. Yeah, Raziel. Hiriohito, his invisibleness. Okay, yeah, that's a great quote. Not yeah, power to the people, and not even that kind of, because that slogan's kind of overused and shit. Freedom to the people, just freedom, freedom to choose our own destiny, to run our own lives, to drink raw milk if I want, to use fish antibiotics the way I want, to do what the hell I want. You know what I mean? As long as it does not infringe upon the freedoms of another person. If I'm not damaging another person or their property or stealing any of their property or whatever, then I should be free to do what the hell I want, basically. Right? Not anarchy, chaos, and everybody shooting each other, but actual real justice. Murderers shouldn't get out in 6 years for after they murdered a little boy. This kind of shit happens all the time. That shouldn't happen. Justice should be swift and decisive for everyone, high and low, of every color, of every religion. Everything should be equal, and not equality of outcome. Because if you don't want to work, that's fine. You have the freedom not to work, but you have the freedom to sit on your ass and do without. If you don't want to work, that's fine. But you're not supposed to be able to rob everyone else to pay for you because you don't want to work when all the other people do want to work. If they decide out of the kindness of their heart to support your lazy ass, then that's one thing. But for me to rob all of them and give it to you, that's completely different. You know what I'm saying? No. I can't buy into that shit. freedom to the people. Yeah, living cheesehead land, yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, zombie. Purple Heart medal in existence. Land invasion of Japan in World War II. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, but we didn't have huge cities of 5 million people either. 10 million people, whatever the insane numbers are now. So I don't know what'll happen in those cities. That's a new thing. Those huge metropolises. That's a whole new thing. But yeah, out in normal land, that shit wouldn't happen, Raziel. You're right. Yeah, well, they're over there. Japan's over there. They got China and shit to deal with over there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that they built up a strong military. I hope they do. Oh, okay, zombie. Yeah, I'll look it up, dude. Big country, what's up? Oh, Yama, Yamamoto? Okay. I knew it was an Asian guy over there. An Asian general. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a major deterrent for invasion if your population is armed and they can form militias, and fight back. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good, Brazio. And most people are like that, dude. I think most people would want to help, help each other in times of strife. Yeah, well, they probably import a lot of it, AF, because they get a lot of money through, just technology, exporting technology and stuff. Yeah, I've lived in towns like that, Raziel, small towns like that, and that it's completely different. You know what I mean? Completely different. I can't even imagine. I've been to one big city, actually spent some time there, and that was Chicago. I went there one time. Spent like 3 or 4 days there, and it's a completely different situation than a small town. I've lived in small towns. Completely different situation. You know what I mean? They're all a bunch of strangers. They don't know each other. You like so. It is different in a small town when you know everybody. It's harder to club them in the head and take their shit. When you know them and they've been nice to you your whole life and baked cookies for you and shit, and helped you when you forgot your wallet and they paid for your gas or whatever, helping each other like that throughout your life. But if it's just a stranger walking along, yeah, why not club him in the head and take his shit? You know what I'm saying? Those cities are completely different. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the place. That's the kind of place where would be the best place to be after some kind of event like that. Yeah, Metal Gear. You're right. We do. Oh, okay. That's probably good. That's a good thing. I bet their crime rate's probably really low, Shannon. Yeah, Oliver. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're our own 911, 911. Yeah. Yeah, I bet AF, yeah. It was fun there for a weekend or whatever, but I wouldn't want to live there. All right, zombie. 1.5 million Purple Hearts were produced. Okay. And they've never had to make any more. They're still the same. We're still pinning the same ones that were produced back then. That's crazy. All right, everybody. Our time is up. So I liked our conversation. Well, I like every one of our conversations. At the end of every one of these episodes, I'm like, damn, that was a great conversation in my head. I'm like, damn, that was awesome. But yeah, so thank you for showing up this morning. I appreciate it. I know it's early, but it's the only time I have today to do a show. So that's just the way we got to deal with it. So thank you all for showing up. The next live stream will be tomorrow, Sunday at 4 p.m. And then also don't forget that tomorrow I'll be on Ohio Valley Prepping Show at 8 p.m. It's called 0 Hour. So I'm going to be a guest on his show tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty cool. So be kind of late for me on a Sunday, but I think it'll be fun. There's going to be a 1 hour show. He put the link, Ohio Valley Prepping put the link in Discord. So and I don't have that link to the show, but if you want to scroll there and try to find that out, but hopefully I'll find the link somewhere and I'll try to post it again somewhere. All right. But yeah, I invite y'all to check that out. Check out his show. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure it will be. He's a Gen Xer, a prepper. He's in the same mindset that we are. So it should be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. Tripwire, His Invisibleness, Bucky, Jeff 7, Mr. Hurst, AF, Zombie, Oliver Rust. Who else we got in here? Metal Gear, Raziel, Shannon, Dog Karma, Big Country, Crabman, all right, I think I got everybody. Oh, Lake was here. Vintage was here. Say goodbye to them as well, even though they're gone already. I think Vintage is gone. All right. All right, I think I got everybody. If I did miss your name, I apologize. But Jody. Hey, Jody. No, I won't forget Jody. So, so goodbye to everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, and I really appreciate it. So, I just want to say thank you. Great conversation again, once more. So, I just have a blast with these things. And thank you very much for showing up today. All right, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll see you twice tomorrow. Chet Davis, what's up? Just saying goodbye, Chet. Thank you for showing up, though, and commenting. I appreciate it, man. All right. Arnis. Yeah, good morning and goodbye, Arnis. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it, buddy. All right, everybody. I'll leave you there with that. As always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.